Hi, this is Lynn Schnebley with Educating with Wisdom, and I'm the ambassador for Heaven's Creating and Protecting Goddesses and Archangels over life. So we're just going to take a look at this, and I'm questioning that the coronavirus is actually a setup and that this was done deliberately in order to get people to have the immunization done in order to get the nanotechnology inside of them. Because as I said, my mother and I got a shot recently and I still feel it, and it's unlike anything else I've ever gotten. So especially the Lieberman group. Now, what's interesting is that you're going to see I'm going to augment something that I tried to do before this. And then I tried to open up the screen, but they wouldn't let me. So I'm going to not even look at myself right this minute. And I'm just asking you, which I've asked earlier. So let's go in and we're going to clear out of this. Now, why would a doctor take a selfie of himself on December the 30th or December the 31st? And why would he have this selfie? And we're going to go into this for a moment because nothing is adding up with him with this or with the Harvard scientist that was picked up. This is CNN. Let's see if we can go to something a little bigger. I don't want to go to anything completely bigger. I wonder if I can do this. All right. This is February the 4th.
In a matter of days, Dr. Yong Xiong went from treating patients to becoming one.
Now look at him.
The 34-year-old ophthalmologist diagnosed Saturday with...
When you look at him, he has no fever. He does not look flushed. He does not look like he's on his deathbed. If he's in a high security situation, the Chinese government are concerned that he's leaking out information. How did he get a picture of himself? And if the Chinese government is concerned about him doing any kind of interview, how did he send anything signed or have any conversation with CNN? This whole thing is staged, and I really think it's staged by those homosexual terrorists that I've told you about. Now, I am deathly concerned about this because they're anarchists. And I'm saying this as a woman who's been a feminist. I'm saying this as the ambassador of Heaven's Creating and Protecting Goddesses and Archangels over life. I have further discussion that I will be adding to this, but I have people on my computer. You're going to see that I can't move things on this computer. Let's go again.
With the Wuhan coronavirus. But if action had been taken when he and others started sounding alarms, the severity of the outbreak might have been understood sooner. Struggling to communicate, Lee spoke with CNN briefly by phone. You can hear the hospital machines pulsing in the background. It was back in late December when Lee first warned friends on WeChat about a SARS-like disease going around.
Now, let's report this again. The Chinese government is going to let this out? Are you serious, folks? I mean, for everything we say about the Chinese, and they have people on lockdown, and they know where you are you serious? They don't have people overseeing him constantly? Oh, come on. Let's take a look at this. Let's listen again. This is all staged. The whole thing from CNN, and of course we know the liberal agenda of CNN. The whole thing is staged.
It's pulsing in the background.
Baloney.
It was back in late December when Lee first warned friends on WeChat about a SARS-like disease going around. Lee sent a group message saying that a test result from a patient quarantined at the hospital where he worked showed a patient had a coronavirus. But hours after hitting send, Wuhan city health officials tracked Lee down, questioning where he got the information. Within days.
Now listen to that. He gets tracked down right away after sending this, but they let all this stuff come out of the emergency room or let it all come out of intensive care. Oh, come on, people.
They closed the suspected source of the virus, this seafood market, and they announced the outbreak. But instead of being praised, Lee got a call from Wuhan City Police. With Lee coughing too much and breathing too poorly to speak by phone, we asked Lee by text, "How did you feel when this happened?" "I felt a little afraid I would be detained, afraid my family would worry," Lee responded. He agreed to sign this document, admitting to spreading rumors online and severely disrupting social order. It reads, "We want you to cooperate with the police and listen to our reminder and stop the illegal act. Can you do that?" Li answered, "Yes, I can." In the weeks that followed, the Wuhan Municipal Health Commission maintained that...
What? They're going to sign that in really? And he just happens to have this? Are you serious? These are anarchists that have set this up so that we have to take these vaccines. This is horrible.
There was no obvious evidence for human-to-human transmission.
Is there anyone here that isn't a
healthcare
homosexual
workers,
man?
And that the outbreak was, in
Or
their
an
words,
anarchist as a
preventable and
man?
controllable. And with that, the people of Wuhan continued about their normal lives.
What are
Then
these
came
men
a sudden
doing?
jump in infections. China's central government took over, scrambling to contain a spreading virus with a rising death toll. Chinese state media first reported that Li was one of several whistleblowers silenced by police. Calls for Li and the others to be vindicated grew online. China's Supreme Court even weighed in, adding, quote, "It might have been a fortunate thing if the public had listened to this rumor at the time." But for many, including Li and his parents, it was too late. They all contracted the coronavirus. Li is now fighting for his life, alone in quarantine, but online, considered a hero. Tens of thousands praising his attempts to sound the alarm ahead of what's become a global health emergency.
How did you get all these
After the
pictures?
Chinese Supreme Court made those comments in support of Li and the other whistleblowers, we did hear from Wuhan police. They released a statement essentially saying, look, the whistleblowers weren't fined and they weren't detained. They were simply questioned and let go. Now, we did also reach out, CNN did, to Wuhan police as well as the local health commission. Allison, they declined to comment.
Hello, Anderson Cooper. Okay. Remember, right as the open house or whatever it was of the presidential debates happened.
You leave it to me.
In
I'll get your taxes in
October?
an okay place.
What?
Well, just
The fire struck the same night, and that was for the LGBT, and their fires raged around the area. Here we go. Acclaimed scientist, U.S. Harvard scientist, the Lieberman Group. Let's take a look at the kinds of things he did, because he had connections to Wuhan, and on the 31st of January, the U.S. government picked him up. There we go. Highlights and news. Research group. Oh, they're going to sell everything to you in case you have Alzheimer's, or you have this, or you have that. But the bottom line is, and they work with this nanotechnology, it can go right into your brain. But I'm telling you, if you take a look at Revelations 9:5 and you look at it in the Greek, it doesn't say for God. It says for the God, and the God is Apollo. That's Lucifer. Nanomaterials, nanoelectronics, okay? Nano brain science, whoa. But this other, what we're finding is staying in our lymph nodes, and it can be reacted by Wi-Fi. So there you go, folks. Now I've got to add this to the other part. I'm sorry, I can't click out of this, but what's going to happen is that if I do, I can't, they wouldn't let me, so I'm going to stop here.